All right, so remember we said there were two phases when it came to the execution context within the JavaScript engine. The first phase was the creation phase, when it set up the variables and functions in memory. And then the second phase is the execution phase. And this phase is pretty simple to understand. In the execution phase, we already have all those things set up that we had before, and now it runs your code, the code you've written, line by line, interpreting it, converting it, compiling it, executing it on the computer into something the computer can understand. And it runs your code line by line. So if I go back to our example that we used for hoisting, and I console.log a here, and I'll just go ahead and move the function to the top so we're using good practice so we don't have confusion. I have a function and I call it. I'm logging a. I'm setting a to equal to a value and declaring it, and I'm logging a again. So what do you think we're going to see? B will be called, then a will be logged, then a will be logged again. We're going to see 3 lines because console.log is also called. So what are the 3 lines? What's the line here? What are we going to see here? And what are we going to see here? All right, let's go ahead and run this, refresh. Did you get it right? It called the function. The first time it called a, it got undefined. And the second time it got hello world. Why? Because now we're in the execution phase. So in the creation phase, we set up this function, and var a was set up and set equal to undefined. And now it begins to execute code. So line 5 is executed and it runs that function. Line 7 is executed and it outputs the value of a to the console. And since a was set to undefined in the creation phase, that's what we see. Then it executes line 9 and sets the value in memory of a to the string hello world, exclamation mark. And then in line 11, it once again outputs the value of a in memory to the console, which is now hello world. So it just executed these things line by line. And we understand between these two phases, the creation phase and the execution phase, now why we see what we see and why JavaScript behaves the way it does.